Now learn the bass catching techniques, the winning ways of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society's best Federation fishermen. Coming next on The Bassmasters, right here on TNN Outdoors. Today, the Bassmaster Tournament Trail takes a different fork in the road on the way to fishing fame and fortune. The Bassmasters camera crew head to eastern Tennessee and the famed Tennessee River impoundments of Fort Loudon and Tellico lakes. Here, the world's best bass club anglers gather for the 1998 Wrangler BASS Federation National Championship.
It's here at the Tennessee Amphitheater in downtown Knoxville, the site of the 1982 World's Fair, that this championship will be decided on a world-class stage. Over the next 3 days, Bass Club anglers from the United States, Japan, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Canada will hope to claim the biggest prize in amateur bass fishing. This is truly a championship test, a best of the best. You don't pay an entry fee to get here. You have to fish your way into these finals, as Don Corcoran explains.
Here we have the top 50 anglers. They've been fishing for about 2 years to qualify to fish in this event, just one step away from the Bassmasters Classic. 50,000 anglers started this quest 2.5 years ago. The top 50 are here, and 5 go forward to the Bassmasters Classic. So there's a lot at stake here. They certainly all want to be the national champion, but what they really want is one of the 5 invitations to the Bassmasters Classic.
Qualifying is a minefield. One false step and you're out of the game. 2 years of trying down the drain, as Gary Dennis knows.
It is extremely tough. Our club is very competitive. To make the top 6 is the job in itself. We fish 12 tournaments a year at Big Bend and Ravenswood, West Virginia, and then you go to the state level. You got 300 guys. You got to make the top 12, and then go to the Eastern Regional. And I done that on Bugs Island this year as a non-boater, and I was just extremely lucky.
The 2,700 bass clubs from 46 states and 4 foreign countries are the backbone of the BASS Federation program. The state clubs are assigned to a division: Central, Northern, Southern, Eastern, and Western. Here's how the system works. From each local bass club, anglers are selected to compete in annual state tournaments, formatted much like the Bassmaster Professional Invitational Trail. From there, the top 12 finalists from each state go on to an annual divisional tournament. The top state angler from the divisional competition makes the Wrangler BASS National Championship. Each foreign country sends its national champion, who's also assigned to a division. Capture the #1 spot in your division here, and with it comes an invitation to the Bassmasters Classic as a Wrangler angler, plus the opportunity to fish the Bassmaster Invitational Trail for a season.
A high-stakes tournament. There's a lot on the line for these weekend warriors who battle to beat the odds. 5 in 50,000, 1 in 10,000 make the dream come true, and that's to make it as a Wrangler angler and qualify for the Bassmasters Classic World Championship. For a few, the dream is real. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee, home of the Volunteers, where on a football Saturday, the 110,000-seat Neyland Stadium becomes the 5th largest city in the state. But here at Riverside Landing Park, the sport of the moment is tournament bass fishing. After 2 practice rounds on Fort Loudon and Tellico lakes, here's the strategy.
Yeah, we've got 3 different areas that I'm fishing on. The first area is man-made rock dikes. You caught a couple big fish there in practice. I'm going to go back there and fish those first thing this morning.
My pattern's mostly, I've been fine with fishing rocks and trees, shell out. And I've been flipping like finesse baits, centipedes. These are the Carolina rigging, but I've been flipping them.
I'm going to say most of the fish still in deep water. You'll catch some as they ease up, maybe. That's what I'm hoping for today, catch them as they ease up.
My background is I've been down here several times, and Tellico's where I fished. And Loudon, I don't know that well, and I've got confidence in the areas I'm fishing, and so that's why I'm making the run.
Making the hour and 20-minute run to fish Tellico shortens the angler's fishing time, but may be worth it. The water clarity is better, and Tellico's 15,860 acres is generally regarded as the better big bass fishery. Fort Loudon, on the other hand, with 14,600 acres, often has muddy to off-color water conditions. Both are TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, hydroelectric projects and subject to frequent lake level changes.
I think the fish right now is still relating to the original home sites, you know, at the deeper water, but I think they're just starting to move up. We'll find out today. The fish I've been catching in practice have been about 7 foot of water, 5 to 7 foot of water. Most of them have been on the crankbait and a few on the spinnerbait. I don't think so, buddy, old buddy. Close.
A keeper-sized bass in this Wrangler BASS National Championship must measure at least 14 inches. The daily tournament limit is 5 bass. Largemouth and smallmouth are both caught in the Tennessee River system.
Okay, we're faced with a mid-April situation. Maybe the bass are pre-spawn, or some have just moved up on the beds. Rising muddy water, a series of passing cold fronts, and a 2-degree drop in water temperature into the low 60s. That's the parts to the bass catching puzzle. What's the best game plan? Mark Hickenbottom has a simple solution. First, he's selected an area, Lackey Creek on Fort Loudon Lake, that's less than a half-hour run from the takeoff site. Mark's plan is to fish, not boat ride. Off-color, even muddy water is not a negative. Mark's accustomed to it. His home waters include the Ohio River. And in stained water conditions, Mark can work the fish closer. He's a short-range flipper. Notice how Hickenbottom picks the cover apart.
Come on, fishies. This might keep. Oh no.
Mark Hickenbottom's basic bait is a plastic centipede, the Zoom Fish Doctor. But Mark does his own doctoring to the Texas rigged lure. Dipping dye adds a chartreuse color to the tail to add flash in the stained water conditions. The locking screw-in bullet weight features a rattle, a built-in noisemaker. And Mark's a big believer in fish attractants, the spray-on type. His favorite flavor is garlic.
New Mexico's Don Connect has made the long run to Tellico Lake. So far, a good decision. He's scored 4 keeper bass on a 3/8-ounce jig and crawfish trailer.
Using brown and purple jig with a rattle in it, and then I'm just using a pumpkin green flake crawl with some amber claws. I think that chartreuse helped out a lot.
Confidence in a lure. With faith in a bait, you'll fish it a lot more effectively. Nebraska's Kent Prowl believes in his homemade spinnerbait.
I'm throwing a 7/16-ounce chartreuse and white spinnerbait with a Colorado and an Indiana blade on it. The bait that I make myself, probably catch 90% of my fish off of it. I fished with a lot of guys, and they fish that a bait made by Man's Baits called a Hank Parker Classic, and they always seem to catch a lot of fish. So I took one of the baits and kind of modeled it, used my own head, and used a little thinner wire, and boy, it's just been an awesome bait for me. Stay down, stay down. Didn't need help. That'll work. I was just getting ready to say I probably ought to move. Ah, thank you, Lord.
Here we go. You'll need it coming up, people. Watch this. This is the weight to beat. 4 bass, 13 pounds, 12 ounces. Let's have a nice hand. As your leader,
But this Wrangler BASS National Championship is just warming up. Mark Hickenbottom bags his catch.
Now, let me tell you something. If a fella catches 5 of those a day, he'll win this tournament. That right there. You don't have to have one of those 6-pounders. Oh, he's going back again. How many is that? Is this? Whoa! Oh, hold it up. Hold it right there.
The tournament's first 5 bass limit. And Mark Hickenbottom's weight, 13 pounds, 12 ounces. A tie for the overall tournament lead. Kent Pryall has 4 bass in the bag and digging for more.
4. All right. Up to me. Give me one more, make a limit. All right. That's all together now. Ready now.
See for television.
Kent's 5-pound, 10-ounce lunker anchors a 13-pound, 2-ounce creel and puts him in 3rd place in the overall race for the BASS Federation National title. But Mississippi's Steve Hatch has a lock on the big bass hunters. This largemouth weighs 6 pounds, 15 ounces, worth $500 cash as the day's big bass. So Mark Hickenbottom, an Ohio coal miner, and Don Connect, a New Mexico auto parts store owner, share the lead with 13 pounds, 12 ounces, with 2 rounds to play in the Wrangler BASS National Championship. Kent Pryall, a switchman for the Union Pacific Railroad, is 3rd and leads the tough Central Division with 13 pounds, 2 ounces. The Central region may be the toughest route to the Classic. 6 of the top 10 leaders are from the Central Federation clubs. Day 2. A downpour overnight may change things. More muddy water is flowing into the creeks and backwater bays. Rising water normally moves bass up into the newly flooded grass. But with a sudden foot or more rise from yesterday, the bass may still be along the old shoreline.
Oh, damn, he caught my fish. See, fishing ain't all that bad.
As if Kent Pryall doesn't have enough competition in the Central Division race, he's having to fish used water behind Big Bird. Kent's working a pocket near the mouth of Fort Creek in the Fort Loudon Dam area. Yesterday it was clear. This morning his best bank is getting muddy, but he's still got confidence in his homemade bait.
There he is. Dang, 13 and a half. Yep. What do I do with that? I hate using these boards. He's skinny and long, though, ain't he?
We've got a camera crew over in Lackey Creek. Let's check on Mark Hickenbottom, the other co-leader. Now, back to Don Connect. He's switched tactics from the jig and craw to a floating trick worm.
I don't think he's going to keep though. I think he's too short.
With yesterday's leaders struggling, Kent Pryall's spinnerbait pattern may be the ticket to the top of the leaderboard today.
I'm not going to talk it away these fish this way, but I don't want to lose any time. Here we go. Kent's weight, folks, 6 pounds, 13 ounces. Mark it. There we go, Kent. That keeps you in the lead. What hindrance, biggest single hindrance did you find today?
Well, the water came up a foot overnight. It came up a foot while I was fishing. And not only that, but it cooled down a couple degrees with the front moving through. It should have pushed the fish up on the shoreline a little tighter, but I'm just finding them roaming one here and there. And what I'm doing is just keeping the bait wet and covering a lot of water.
Well, as they say, dance with the one that got you here. And Kent Pryall does a quick 2-step to the top of the Day 2 leaderboard. He jumps ahead with 19 pounds, 15 ounces. Mark Hickenbottom slips to 2nd with 17 pounds, 15 ounces. And Don Connect drops to 4th with 15 pounds, 3 ounces. Florida's Gene Mobley rockets from 17th into 3rd with a creel of 10 pounds, 12 ounces and 15 pounds, 7 ounces total. Zimbabwe's Roger Cousins has a big day. 11 pounds, 12 ounces to climb into 7th place, a move from 30th yesterday. There's one chance left. We'll size up the important divisional races next. With a big catch yesterday, Gene Mobley of Plant City, Florida, leads the Southern Division and has a good chance to land the spot in the Bassmasters Classic at Greensboro, North Carolina in August.
In the back of my mind right now, I just want to go out and get a couple of fish in the live well pretty quick, and then I'll feel a little bit better about it as the day goes on.
In the Eastern Division, Bruce Lynch of Dagsboro, Delaware, has almost a 5-pound lead, but is having to adjust his fishing pattern each day.
I caught a couple on the beds. Now it's basically on deep banks. It seems like they pulled out and they're staging again. I caught some on crankbait yesterday. So it's a totally different, totally different pattern.
Mark Hickenbottom owns a lock on the Northern Division race with a comfortable 10-pound lead, but he's struggling to get bites.
I'm not going to give up on it. I'm getting bites. There's a little slur yesterday, but my bites are coming on late. I'm just going to do the same thing, make the same routes probably.
In the Western Division standings, New Mexico's Don Connect leads his classic rivals with 15 pounds, 3 ounces.
I've got about a 5-pound lead right now, which, that's one fish here. But I think if I caught 6, 7 pounds today, I'd feel real good.
Kent Pryle of the Lincoln County, Nebraska Bassmasters controls the Central Division standings.
Patience is the key to success. One down.
Here's one in the boat for Mark Hickenbottom, too.
Good fish. Thank you, Lord.
Gene Mobley's pattern is still working in George Creek.
Well, they caught fishing and not catching.
Bruce Lynch has had to change tactics again. So far, his bite is off.
Good one, ain't it? Little smallmouth.
Kent Pryle still combing the shoreline with his homemade spinnerbait.
Small but precious. Thank you, Lord.
Being from Florida, flipping shallow water cover is Gene Mobley's strong suit.
Yep, I got it. I don't think it's going to be long enough, though.
Mark Hickenbottom, the out-of-work coal miner, is digging them out.
Oh, no.
Kent Pryle's located a clear water pocket inside the mud line.
Oh, God, there's a good one. Oh, God. Come on, baby. Don't you jump. Don't you jump. Oh, man. There you go.
The final weigh-in. The Wrangler BASS National Championship is really two tournaments. The quest to win the overall title and the coveted Brian Kershaw Memorial Trophy. And the divisional competition, deciding 5 Bassmasters Classic qualifiers. Bruce Lynch started the day with a 4-pound, 12-ounce lead in the Eastern Division. Is he Classic bound? 0 fish. That leaves the Classic wide open. And behind the Eastern Division door is Ted Soley of New Jersey.
Don't waste any time. Weigh these 3 bass. And the total weight, 13 pounds, 12 ounces. There's your winner.
Ted Soley also grabs the overall lead with 23 pounds, 1 ounce. There's no shocker in the West. Don Connect's big bass, well, he didn't need it. He wins the division by over 10 pounds.
Blaze of glory.
No surprise in the Southern Division either. Gene Mobley takes it with 20 pounds, 9 ounces.
I'm very happy. I mean, I don't know what to say right now. I've been sitting out there in that river for the last 2.5 hours getting rained on.
For sure, there's no rain falling on Kent Pryle's Central Division victory parade.
He's made it, folks. No question about it. 6 pounds, 8 ounces, mark it. Boom. That's off to the Classic. And that also wins for him the $15,000 for the top performer in the tournament. Now, well, so far, one guy left.
Mark Hickenbottom is the runaway winner of the Northern Division and has his Classic ticket. But has he won the tournament?
Woo! Boom! Brian Kerschel Award. There it is, right there. Boom, boom.
Got to be at least 8-9.
Got to be 8-9.
The biggest moment in Mark Hickenbottom's fishing career. 3 days, 11 bass, 28 pounds, 12 ounces, and $15,000. Not bad work for an unemployed coal miner. But this time, Mark's hit solid gold, the Brian Kerschel Memorial Trophy, and with it, proud wishes of every Federation fisherman, and the hope to follow Brian's tradition as the next amateur to win the World Championship. Shortly after winning the Classic in 1994 at Greensboro, tragically, Brian died in a plane crash.